Well, hello and welcome to my channel, Maryborn ND and Gardening with Granny. I have two things I want to talk about today. One of them is the unboxing of my botanical interest seeds. And the other one is kind of a little chit chat. You may know or you may not know that I am a traditional naturopath and I am in my 80s. I will be actually 81 in July. And my sister and I, my sister is 4 years older than me, we're having this conversation about not feeling our age and how blessed we are that we can do the things we want to do until we realize we can't. So I've never had a lot of upper body strength. It's like it's not something I develop, even though I work in the garden and I do a lot of physical things and that. It's like shoveling, trying to dig something up is not my forte. Usually I have help from my husband to do things like that. So yesterday I was trying to get on a chair, thinking I could get on this chair. It's like, what were you thinking? And it occurred to me that I'm not alone in this. I'm sure there are people out there that think they can do something and then something happens. And, that stuff happens. And my second thought is I know a lot of things that can help me get better faster. What I ended up doing was smashing my knee and the calf of my leg against the back of the thigh. And this is called hyperflexion, not hyperextension. Hyperextension happens when, like, these are the kneecaps and you're, pushing against it. And so I heard this snap, and obviously, I know I've done some damage to my leg, and the pain progressively got worse. My husband is a retired chiropractor, and for 60 years, he worked as a chiropractor helping people, and he knows a lot about musculoskeletal and what goes on. And I've gone to classes with him, and I've learned a lot along the way. So Professor Google, I look it up and it tells me what a traditional medical doctor would do. They would give you anti-inflammatories, they would recommend icing and rest stabilizing. And so basically, they're not going to do anything for me. So there was no urgency for me to call 911, 911, or to go to the emergency room or anything like that. So I'm thinking, okay, I know how to ice. We've got ice packs. I can do that. And the other thing I want to do is as fast as I can get some anti-inflammatories going. Now, I am not one to use aspirin, ibuprofen, or Midol, or any of those things. I love to use herbs. And the herb of my choice in this is white willow. Okay, white willow was the original aspirin. It's how they discovered aspirin, so to speak. So it has all the qualities of aspirin, but it also has some calming effects so it doesn't upset the stomach and all that. There's another one, And it's in this formula called IF Relief, called andrographis. And hopefully I can do this. What I wanted to do was screen share. Here it is. So this is Dr. Axe's website. I highly recommend that when you want to look up natural medical advice, this is one of the sources I use. And so I looked up andrographis, and it is, bitter tasting therapeutic, which means bitters often will help you draw in. So it helps to remove fluid, and it helps to uh, as an anti-inflammatory. So this is the main ingredient in my IF Relief. So, I'm looking at, the first thing they say, it fights common cold. So in other words, it's an antiviral, but that's not the main reason why I wanted it. I wanted it because it reduces inflammation. And research suggests that andrographis or androgropholide, or however you pronounce that, the main compound in this plant can significantly reduce inflammation that's caused by histamine, adrenaline, and dimethylbenzene. Now, the main thing you want to understand is that inflammation can come from a variety of sources. And so this would be a really good remedy if you were really sick with runny nose. You would want an antihistamine, and andrographis would supply that. But the other thing is that whenever you injure yourself, there is the immediate response of the immune system to help heal whatever is injured. And therefore, it takes its focus off of fighting infection. And so you also want to work with something that is going to help your immune system beef it up. So that's one of the components of this. And the other is the fact that it has the white willow in it. So now I need to know how to get rid of my screen sharing. Stop sharing. There we go. So there we are, back to me. And so just, this isn't totally about this, but the point of the matter is that if you are preserving food and you're looking to provide the best for your family, one of the things that you can do is to have some knowledge of how the body works and how you can help it, because there are so many times when accidents happen, and if you can get right on it and support the body in dealing with whatever injury you've acquired, you're going to heal faster. So last night I was taking 2 of these every hour until I went to bed. So in other words, I took maybe 8 before I went to bed. And whenever I was up and around, my husband had to help me. I couldn't walk by myself. And so unfortunately, I had to get up twice during the night because I was drinking a lot of water. And so I had to get up twice to go to the bathroom. And I took 2 of these each time I got up. Then I woke up at 5:30. That's my normal wake up time. Took 2 more, and then didn't have to take any until 9 o'clock. So the stretch to control pain was getting longer and longer. And that's the reason why I love this product. It's non-addictive. Um, they have FDA recommendations on it that are way less than what I do, but you do what you want to do, and I know my body. And there were some things. So, what are the side effects of andrographis as the main ingredient? Remember what it said, it controls fever or helps reduce fever. So I was chilled. And we have one of these like pillows that are loaded with rice, and we heated it up, and I put it at my feet. And that helped to increase circulation during the night, because when your feet are cold, your body's trying to warm them up. And so having that at my feet was really nice. It actually kept me warm during the night and had no problem. The other thing, I used ice on the site of the injury, which is the back of the knee. I also noticed how swollen it was, and have been keeping check of how, like, putting your hands around one knee and then putting your hands around the other knee, and what is the space between the thumbs. That's one measurement, or you could actually just get a measuring tape and measure it that way. So there's a lot of things that I inherently know from all the studies and studying that I've done through the times. I've been a naturopath for 45 years. So there's lots of things that I just remember and can recall. And I'm so grateful that I can recall these things at my age. So that's just a little background for that. Today, my husband is playing tennis right now, and I'm perfectly fine all by myself. I can walk unassisted, and it's getting better and better every hour, basically. So that's that. Now, we'll go on to the botanical interest seeds that I got. So most of my seeds I get from M.I. Gardner. All my veggies, most of my veggies and things like that, I get from M.I. Gardner. And I've already started peppers. I've got 3 different kinds of peppers. I've got red, green, and purple. And peppers are one of my main ingredients. I love sweet bell. I don't do hot peppers. That's just not my thing. And so I try to grow a lot of peppers because 2 peppers, organic peppers, it's like $4 in the grocery store. And it just makes sense to grow what you use, and especially those things that are costly. And so I have one bag of frozen diced peppers left in my freezer. So, and I know I'm not going to get any more until probably late July, maybe August. So, and peppers take a long time. So I've already started them. The seeds are on heat mats. They haven't shown their face yet. I also grow a lot of herbs because herbs can be costly, fresh, especially fresh herbs. And you can grow them. They're generally not difficult to grow. They're not time intensive or anything like that. You put a seed in and watch it grow. The thing you have to remember to do is clip it every once in a while so it doesn't go to seed. And so there's a lot of things that food that I look at as far as how costly they are and how cheap it is to get seeds. At my gardener, it's $2. You do get like 25 seeds. 25 pepper plants? Oh my word. I don't have that much space. So things like potatoes, they grow and you don't have to pay any attention to them. You dig a thing, put your seed potato in, and come back a few months later and you've got potatoes. Onions. I haven't had the best luck in growing bulb type onions. I've tried from seed, I've tried sets, I tried a variety of ways. I really do best with sets, and so I've got those coming. And basically, our last frost date is May 5th, and it's only March. So, in fact, it's only March 7th. So, we have a long ways to go before I can plant outside. But I start things inside. Lettuce. I mean, we love fresh salads, and I have 3 green stalks, and I have covers for the green stalk. And so I can put lettuce in the end of March and cover them and protect them and have salads growing through April. Um, so, and salad can be expensive. So, what I get from botanical interests are fun stuff, okay? Things that I couldn't get from in my garden. I'm going to just a little bit here. So, Botanical Interest gives you a lovely little seed starting chart that you can read and understand how to grow different things, what things to look for, and it's very informative. One of the things that I've been wanting to grow, and for some reason I've never ordered the seed or couldn't think of it, but hyacinth bean. Now I have a cattle panel trellis, and the first year I put it up, I tried putting sunflowers on one side, not real tall ones, but shorter ones, because my neighbor hated the look of the cattle panel. So I was trying to be kind to her and on her side grow sunflowers to block it. Well, it didn't matter because she had another objective that she tried. So I'm thinking I would love to grow these on the back panel of the trellis. The front panel that gets all the sun is going to be dedicated to tomatoes and cucumbers. So I also grow in grow bags, and I will put things that can tolerate a little more shade underneath the hoop. So anyways, I am looking forward to growing some of these beautiful ruby moon hyacinth beans. The next thing I've seen, Jessica from Roots and Refuge at her older property grew these very dark, almost black hollyhocks, and they were called the Watchmen. So I saw that Botanical Interest had the Watchman hollyhock, and I'm really looking forward to it growing this beautiful plant. I like hollyhocks. Years ago, years ago, I should say, when I was little, my parents lived in a 2-story structure, and we had the upper flat. And the alleyway where people put their garbage, there was always hollyhocks growing, and I loved them. Alyssum, sweet alyssum. This is a variety of sweet alyssum. I love them. They're just such a sweet, old-fashioned flower. And last year I had some growing in my plastic containers for my winter growing. And this time I thought, well, I'm going to try a variety. And I think I have a place where they will go. I did get some San Marzano from M.I. Gardner, but when I went to reorder, they were out. So I decided to get some. These are my favorite paste type tomatoes. They they're not really considered a paste tomato, but they are a tomato that can make beautiful paste because they don't have very many seeds, and they can cook down. I typically don't remove the skin and the seeds and all that. I just sort of blend it all together when I make my tomato sauce. They gave me a thank you with some beautiful lettuce. I love growing lettuce and I love varieties. And so actually I had ordered that same one. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll go perfectly in my green stock. I like growing leeks. I've heard a lot about this King Richard leek. It's supposed to be pretty sizable. I grew leeks last year. I freeze dried them. They are wonderful to add to different dishes. Yarrow, I've been trying to get my hands on some yarrow. I love it, love it. It is supposed to come back every year, but somehow my herb garden after COVID got out of hand, and I have been having trouble getting it back to an organized herb garden. I have somebody now that I've hired that is going to help me clean it up and get it more manageable. So anyways, I'm looking forward to this variety, all these beautiful yarrow. The medicinal yarrow is traditionally a white yarrow. And if you are looking forward to growing yarrow for medicinal purposes, then that's the one you want to get. And you should always, it's Achilles something or other. Fun story. The yarrow leaves and flowers can be used to staunch bleeding. And Achilles would take his army and they'd fight and fight. And everyone in the unit had a bag with dried yarrow in it. And they, at night, when they got through fighting, they would pack their wounds with this dried yarrow. And overnight, it would stop the bleeding and actually begin healing so that they could fight again the next day. And I have used yarrow. I accidentally cut myself one time last summer and remembered I had yarrow growing, and I grabbed some and I packed it onto my wound, and it did within an hour. Everything was stopped bleeding and it was starting to heal, and it healed very fast. I also used some essential oil helichrysum on it, and yeah, things like that. If you can get a hold of an herb course just to get some basic understanding of the amazing things that you can accomplish by using herbs, just incredible. I will link in the description below Stephen Horn, who I've learned so much from, has an absolutely wonderful course. Kohlrabi. I like kohlrabi. I have some growing, but when I saw this, the purple variety, I thought, why not? So remember, this is fun stuff. This is the vanilla ice sunflower. I like branching sunflowers. I grew a yellow or yellow gold sunflower last year, and it was just such a delight. I could pick some for arrangements, and it's just constantly new blooms coming. It was wonderful. I also like this teddy bear variety. Have you grown that? Do you like it? They look just like little fuzz balls and that. I think that they're a lot of fun looking. I've heard so much about this contender green bean. I don't start green beans until the end of April. Most of the time, I just stick them in the ground and let them grow. Beans grow pretty fast, and you don't really have to pay a whole lot of attention to it. But I want to try some of these contender green beans. I've heard that they're a really yummy stringless bean. Status for dried flower, it's just amazing. So I'm looking forward to this. This is the Russian status, and it's an heirloom, and I just am anxious to try something like this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I love snapdragons, and you can tell by my choices that I am a traditional garden person, just like I'm a traditional naturopath. I like the old time flowers and not into the newfangled ones um, unless they've been improved. I love proven winners as well. So snapdragon. So these are a variety, uh, multicolored that I'm looking forward to growing. I have grown snapdragons for such a long time. And when my two granddaughters that live here in Michigan were younger, we would go to the market all the time, and I grew snapdragons, and my younger granddaughter that lives here in Michigan, Sarah, would help me plant the snapdragons. And when they grew and got their little mouths and we could squeeze them and make them talk, it was just so much fun. So when my granddaughter from Boston came, of course, the older two here had to show her how these they talk to each other. Then I got this one, night and day. That sounded really exciting to me. So, and my very last one is anise hyssop. And I did grow some last year. I had it, they started in my winter sowing. This year I didn't do very much. I only have 2 containers of my winter sowing. Couldn't get my hands on the jugs. We don't buy milk in half-gallon or gallon-sized jugs. And we have our own water unit here, so we don't have buy water. So it was just really difficult getting my hands on it. So through the summer, I'm going to try and see if I can locate more. So next year I can have more jugs for winter sowing. But this did really well. And one of the plants was really strong. And so what I want to do is fill in that area with the anise hyssop. So that's it for my unboxing of Botanical Interests. And how's your seed planting and your garden planning going? I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, this is Mary and Gardening with Granny.